Okay, folks, friend to the room is joining us now. It's been a while. President of WBC, our guy Mauricio Sulaiman.
What's up, Mauricio?
I'm so happy to be back. Akam Barak.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
Sounds like a poem. Very happy. Thank you. Very thankful.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're gonna put out a tweet on social media and say, do you guys want Mauricio back on the show once a month like before? Because
Yes.
we miss you, bro.
We miss you, no doubt. Listen, you're a busy man, though, and there's a lot to talk about, Mauricio. So we're going to jump right into it. We were in LA a week and a half ago or so. Ryan Garcia, for Javier Fortuna won by knockout. But going into that fight after the weigh-in, he sat down with us on a live broadcast and said a few things. You might have seen the footage, but I want to play something for you because I need a genuine reaction from you and a response afterwards. So our producer Josh is going to play this clip for you and just listen in on it.
Okay.
You guys put so much emphasis on these bouts, man. Let them go. They don't mean shit. Bouts don't mean shit nowadays. All that matters is
Ryan.
about if I beat Devin,
Yeah.
they're gonna say go fight Tank. But if I beat Tank, they can't say.
Well, they're still tight. I mean, do you care?
Nah,
I
man.
understand your position
I
about
don't
the
care.
belt.
So
Hold on.
I wouldn't be proud to say I'm undisputed if I beat Kambosos. I'm not going to be proud of that. I'm going to be proud once I beat everybody. That's when I'm going to be proud. That's when I raise my head up high. I don't care.
All right,
These
so
belts,
who do you consider as everybody?
I'm going to describe this perfectly for you in like not a parable but a metaphor. These belts have no substance. It's like wearing a chain, but it's not heavy. It's not real.
Initially, hearing that from a young fighter in Ryan, how does that make you feel?
I've been there, done that, seen that. He's just a young kid. It means very much to be back in the ring, new trainer, so a lot of pressure on him.
Right.
I saw him when he was very young in the WBC office. He was admiring the WBC belt, and he was saying that's his dream. I've been with him several times, and he's always respectful and saying he wants to be a WBC champion. For him to say that is unfortunate. I don't think he really means that. I think it's just a protection statement about being jealous of whoever has the belts and him not being able to be there yet. But that was due to his own problems. So he's a talented fighter. I like him very much as a person. I wish him success. And I truly don't think he believes what he said. That's my opinion.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was pretty tough for us hearing him say that too, because I know a lot of fighters, they give their lives in this ring just to get to a belt, and a lot of the guys who we think are great fighters, who we revere so much, it's because they won titles, So now you said earlier that you remember him in the office, the WBC office, saying, this is a dream of mine. And you also have that video as well. What stops you from putting out that video, like responding to him?
Because he's a fighter. I don't like to go against fighters. He's a
Good man.
kid. And as I said, I don't believe that's his true feeling.
Right.
It was just a statement
It's a defense mechanism because everybody is attacking him, saying you don't have a title and you didn't fight Haney for the WC when you were mandatory. So that's kind of a defense mechanism for him to spew out.
Exactly. That's exactly it. And there's no need to put him in a spotlight. I wish him well. I truly believe he's got great potential. And I know in his heart he wants a belt.
Yeah, I mean,
just look at what happened last night with Muhammad Ali belt.
Yeah. No, listen, I respect that, your position on that and your approach and not wanting to even put anything like that out there. Now, here, on the contrary to that, here's a gentleman that respects your organization, and he's tied into Ryan. Bill Haney had a few things to say on our guy's show, Nest, the boxing voice, who had a great interview with him. But I want you to hear this part because I need to ask. I want to know if this is true. Go ahead, roll the tape, Josh.
I think that a lot of the champions that have benefited by being champions, by being in world championship fights, who earn a residual income from being champions, or not being extremely forthwith with the benefits of being a champion and what being a champion means. Now I hear this narrative, this new narrative that you don't have to be a champion. You don't have to be a champion. That's a falsehood. Somewhere, everyone started thinking that they have to pay for the sanctioning fees, right? That's what the public, right? If you take a look at the public and what everyone is saying, the fans are, you shouldn't have to pay for. Well, we don't pay the sanctioning fees.
All right. Well, again, that clip was from the Boxing Voice, so our guys over there, Nestor and Danny. First off, is that true that sometimes the networks, the broadcasters, pick up the sanctioning fee, and it's not always the fighters if that's negotiated? Is that true?
It could be. We're not privy to that information. It's unfortunate. Boxing is the only sport in which the league or the organization, like the WBC, has nothing to do with the business side. The promoter, like NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, all those control TV rights, sponsorship. They sell the franchises, the teams, so they control. It's a small world. The UFC, they control. They are the promoter and they're the league. In boxing, in order to keep that very important line between any conflict of interest, of intervention in the results, boxing was excluded from the organization being in the business side. So you have promoters that they registered different contracts from the real earnings of a fighter. You have all this hiding of information for whatever reason, and we're just there, and our job is to do the administration and the medicals and everything that has to do with whatever happens outside and inside the ring. And when we hear the fans and the media talk about the economics and the WBC or the sanctioned organizations, it's so little information that people have, and it's always negative. Unfortunately, we have very few opportunities to appear in great programs like this one, to talk and openly say the things. Every single penny that comes into the WBC goes back to boxing. We have thousands of people around the world that are honorary. They don't charge anything for what they do as a service to the sport. We have great people, and it's a great sport. But whenever economics come, everybody is like a angry shark throwing bites at us for some reason.
Yeah, of course, when money is involved, people are angry. We have another fighter, friend of ours, who has a gripe, but respectfully, he has a gripe and he has a valid question, and that's Regis Prograis, who fights at 140 pounds. He's a former champion. He's saying that he was the mandatory for the WBC, but he's not the guy fighting for the title. You got Ramirez and Zepeda, and he wants to know why.
Yes, he fought a elimination bout in Dubai. I was present, and all along, Josh Taylor stipulated that he was going to move up to welterweight. That was said for a long time, and he fought, and he can ask Provellum with the understanding that he would be the mandatory for the winner of the vacant title. And number one is Zepeda, number two is Ramirez. Prograis is number three. So we waited, and Josh Taylor didn't give up the title. He didn't move up in weight. So we ordered Zepeda, Josh Taylor, and just the day of the first beat, he gives up the title. So we wasted 2 months. Oh. So at that time, we ordered Zepeda against Ramirez, number one against number two. And the winner must fight against Prograis. If either fighter, if Zepeda or Ramirez do not participate in that fight, the other fighter is going to fight against Prograis for the vacant. So we did not do anything contrary to what was agreed, and it just maybe he did not have that information himself.
Right. So he'll get the opportunity to fight for that title anyway.
Yes, he's the mandatory of the division. And the understanding was that, as it happened, that Taylor was not defending next, so he does not have the title. and he's gonna either fight for the title or the winner.
Yeah. So in other words, to clear things up, he wasn't mandatory for Josh Taylor, and you guys were just ordering number 1 and number 2, which is Cepeda and Ramirez, and that fight was already in the works, and then Taylor vacated. So for those that don't understand, because we always want to give you an opportunity and a platform to explain things that that you have to dive a little more in depth to for them to understand. But Regis, to Barack's point, he was very respectful. He said he loves Mauricio. He just wants to fight, and he wants to get back on top for those titles.
And he's a great champion, and we live in a world in which social media is open. So before, everything had to be dealt through the promoter. The promoter was the line of communication with the organization, which it still is the formal way of communication. But now anyone can go online and give their own fighters, trainers, managers, everybody's, and then it starts going all over the place. But the reality, we have everything documented. There's a tracking of all communications. Right. But Regis will be fighting for the title very soon.
I want to bring up Devin Haney. We just heard from Bill, that clip from Bill. At one point, he got a lot of heat from people saying that he was an email champ and so on and so forth. But he went to another country, because I hadn't spoken to you since then, and dominated Kambosos. A great display of boxing. How good did that make you feel, knowing all of the hate that the young man got before that fight, and now he is wearing the WBC title with pride after that fight? How good did that make you feel?
Oh, it made me feel great, very proud of him. But I was always very confident. I spoke to him and his dad continuously throughout the process. In fact, I could say that we planned what happened. We planned these scores years ago. When I met him as an amateur fighter, I gave him a bracelet, one of a kind. And Don Majewski brought him to my room. He had a beautiful smile, and I said, "One day you will be our champion." Wow. And then he won every step of the way. The youth championship, the Continental Americas, International, the silver, then the interim championship, and then the WBC championship. And he took all the heat about Lomachenko and Lopez, and then Kambosos and all this, and the hatred that goes in social media, and the battles between even fighters. And I just told him, just feel proud and confident of what you are, and the day will come. And he went all the way to Australia without his father. He had no visa. Fortunately, he arrived the day of the fight, and he was there, and he just put a tremendous display of greatness. And now nobody can say anything.
Right, exactly.
Well, I'm glad I brought up Devin Haney, and I agree with you. He's a great champion, Mauricio. I want to know what happened to the franchise designation. Did Devin accept it, or is it limbo now? What's going on with that?
We have not talked about it. When everything was going on during this fight, I saw some postings and some indirect media saying that he will not care for the franchise. So we did nothing. We have not done any paperwork about the franchise. Wow. It is a designation that benefits, specifically in lightweight. It gave it so much activity, and I feel happy and proud of it. But if Devin does not want to enforce it, does not want it, it's okay. He can do the route. He's free right now to take on any challenges, any fights. They say it's going to be a rematch in October, but I'm just enjoying the moment with Devin Haney. Yes. If he requests the franchise designation, we'll look into the board of governors. But I'm just very proud of him. When we were over there, Bob Arum said, "Oh my God, now they are talking about the greatness of the fight before the fight. This and that and the undisputed." And then he hinted, "Well, let's see how the guy feels to have to pay 3% to all the organizations." So he brings back the money issue. And the response from Haney says, "Look, I am happy to pay because this is what made me got here and made me win the millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't know. It's something. Whenever there's money and organization is gonna be bad,
Right.
but we just live with it. And I
Right.
can only speak for the WBC.
Right.
So
And continue to do the good work that people don't see, like the charity work and all that. They cost money, to do, and you guys continue to do. So
What went viral was Andre Ward talking about he doesn't know why, that we pay the 3% as fighters, that they pay the 3% to the organization. And we know you personally, we know the things that you do, but I don't know. I think you need a platform to speak for yourself. Why do the WBC charge 3% to the fighters for the belts?
well, that's how it originally was structured 60 years ago. So I should ask 60 years ago them, but maybe we should charge 5 or 10%. What we do, everything goes back to boxing. And from amateur boxing, we do a lot of things in amateurs. We do a lot of things in professional in 175 countries. And then we take care of our own. We take care of the elderly. So many fighters that are going through difficult times, they have no more money. They either spend it all or make very little. But anyone in the industry can access the WBC for humanitarian aid. And we use, as I said, we have so many committees. We are funding research for women's boxing, and we are all over the place with everything. And that costs money. We have 60 employees in Mexico City. We have, of course, to pay rent and to pay administration and the committees and the research. And anyone, if they want to see what we do with the money, they're welcome to see, and we will send them all the proof. But the thing is, boxing is a great sport, and we act. The WBC is the one that brought the 15 to 12 rounds, the day before weigh-in, the 4 ropes in the ring, the changes in the gloves, the anti-doping. We spend a lot of money on anti-doping in the clean boxing program. We have the weight management program. We have a countless amount of social responsibility programs, and that's where the money goes. And it is done on behalf of every single fighter who has ever fought for the WBC.
All right, listen, shifting gears, there's going to be a trilogy September 17th. Is WBC planning a trilogy belt? Are you guys making something for this particular day, Canelo versus Triple G, the trilogy?
Yes, it's in September. So we have done for the last 6 years a May 5th and a September 16th specific belt. And it's beautiful. It's in the making, and it's going to be amazing. The first one, Triple G has, because they drew.
Right.
The second one, Canelo had, because Canelo won.
Right.
So this third one is going to be special for the winner.
But why does Triple G have it? Because they drew, because he was the champion at the time, I guess.
Because he was a champion at the time.
Right.
So that was the logic thing to do, to give it to the champion.
Right.
And that's why he has one of those special belts. Then he beat Martirosyan and got another of the special belts.
Wow.
So it's not only Mexicans. Also, Tyson Fury got the Magent belt in September fight.
That was a beautiful belt too. Yeah.
Yes.
For sure.
And we have the Juneteenth, the Freedom Belt coming up. The fight was postponed, Charlo, but I believe they're going to fight in November. So we're going to have the new Juneteenth belt there for the Freedom Belt.
Nice.
As always, listen, Mauricio, it's a pleasure talking to you. I'm glad you was able to clear a lot of this stuff up and respond to what some of the people have been saying about the sanctioning bodies. So talk to you soon. Thank you, Mauricio Sulaiman, President of WBC.
Thank you so very much. Great seeing you again.
Likewise.
Absolutely. See you later, brother.
Thank you.